Welcome back to GoJo and Golic. It's time for Mic'd Up Mondays, brought to you by Wrangler, made for the ride of life. Save 15% on your first Wrangler.com order with promo code GoJo15. Well, I don't think anybody had the Patriots beating the Bills on their bingo card, but here we are. Bill Belichick picked up his 300th win in thrilling fashion. Mac Jones was the hero. Winning drive with 12 seconds left. He connects with Mike Gesicki on National Tight Ends Day. Here we go. And here he was after the upset win, feeling good.
Well, I always believe in myself. I have a lot of confidence in myself, and I'm not going to sit up here and say it every time, but I do believe in myself, and I do that through work and all that stuff. And that's why football is the greatest team sport. It's the quarterback. You go as your quarterback goes. So for me, just continuing to be the same guy every day and just beat Mac. Just continue to do it. Like I said, it's just a crumb, and just keep picking up those crumbs, and eventually you have a whole loaf of bread. So that's my goal. Just continue to work, continue to be Mac, like I said, and it's just one game, right? I always say that regardless of the result. So gotta do it again. Gotta fight every day and practice hard.
Giving big Hansel and Gretel vibes out here.
Did he say continue to be Mac?
I said, yeah, just continue to be Mac, baby.
Yeah.
And the Brett,
gotta let Mac.
He had him, 25 of 32, 72, a couple of touchdowns, didn't turn the ball over. I still think he's playing. I still think he's playing for his. Is he going to be the quarterback of the future?
Yes.
Patriot live. But it was a great showing. Listen, you can say nothing more than that. It's a great showing. This was a bit of a stunner.
So who is the best team in the AFC East now, I think becomes an interesting question, because you look at the way that this has gone. I think most people would assume, hey, it's the Dolphins or the Bills. The Bills have the head-to-head win over the Dolphins, so they'd probably give them credence. But, Dad, this is becoming a Bills team that's seemingly harder and harder to trust in moments like this when you see some of the bad Josh Allen pop up. I mean, a turnover, an interception on the very first offensive play of the game for the Bills was kind of emblematic of what became of the day.
I'd probably still lean toward the Dolphins just because of the ability and the possibility of hitting scores quickly, though, as we just talked about last night, their offense just put up 10 points in that game, but just their ability to do that. Now, their defense has to come along for the ride and start playing a little better for them, but now all of a sudden, I mean, so I would probably lean toward them. And what we were saying was such a deeper, tight AFC. I mean, we're starting to see Kansas City separate, right? I mean, since Cincinnati hasn't come back to what we expected just yet.
The
Buffalo,
Ravens yesterday would like a word.
Oh, you know what? You're absolutely right. But again, Kansas City's been consistent. The Ravens were phenomenal yesterday, but let's get the consistency train rolling there as well. But they were incredible.
In the AFC East, I'd probably still, on their best day, say Buffalo. The thing that worries me with the Dolphins is for all the high-flying escapades, you got 3 starting offensive linemen that were out in that game last night. And we've seen the way you beat them is having a competent front 4 on defense that can handle business in the box. And that becomes even harder for the Dolphins to handle when you're dealing with backups along that offensive line. And so that's a difficult thing that I worry about with them, because they're like a sports car. Rock pops up into the engine, all of a sudden you got to worry, versus that team in Philadelphia that's driving over there with a Mad Max Fury Road monster truck that can eat whatever you put in its path.
The analogy is spot on. It's spot on there without question. So, and what happens is there's a 100% chance you're going to have guys hurt during the year. 100%.
Yep.
It's not if, it's when. So can they get that O-line healthy by the time, to make a run, right? Whether it's, 3/4 of the way through the season, don't lose too much, back, but yet Buffalo lose as well. So obviously you don't lose traction there, and then be healthy when it counts the most. It's just about getting in. Now, with the top teams, we sit there and talk about, home field advantage. Though Patrick Mahomes may never play a playoff game. Oh, he still hasn't played a playoff game away on the road. It's ridiculous. So how quickly or when can you be healed up to be at the best strength you're going to be for your run?
We got a reminder this weekend also, Bill Belichick can still coach. He got his 300th career win in this game. And Dad put together an awesome game plan there. You got some good performances on offense from Demario Douglas, who looked quicker than all hell out there. The defense gave Buffalo a lot of problems up front. So congratulations to Bill Belichick. That guy can still get it done. But let's get on to our next bit of sound here. We've got Dan Campbell as we mentioned, that Baltimore Ravens team looked incredible this weekend. This was Dan Campbell digesting the loss that they suffered.
Frustrating, it is. But ultimately, hey, man, things happen for a reason. The good Lord never gives us anything we can't handle, and so we probably needed it. You don't want these to happen. When it does, it recenters you. It refocuses you, and that's all I know. I don't want it to happen. Nobody wants to happen. Nobody likes to look over there and watch them having a great time because they kicked our ass. Nobody thinks that's fun. But I know that motivates me for next week. It motivates our team. So I know that you'll do any and everything you can not to have that feeling again. So that's all I mean by that. I know everybody's going to be like, how can you say that? How can you say it's okay to lose? And that's not what I'm saying, all right? So it's here. It happened. It'll motivate us moving forward. And the shame would be if we don't use this to get better for next week and it bleeds over into the Raiders. That would be the ultimate shame.
Oh, the poor Raiders.
I was going to say, man.
Listen, the next few games for them, Raiders, Chargers, Bears, Packers, Saints, Bears, Broncos. I mean, it's laid out for them if they play ball the way we think they can play ball of getting wins. Listening to Dan Campbell, tell me if you can imagine this, Mike, what he said. I imagine Dan Campbell standing in the middle of an MMA ring after getting battered by somebody and being interviewed after with blood pouring down his face saying, yeah, this is going to recenter me. You know what? Okay, this is good. I'm going to be great after this, because I could just fathom that him saying that with blood pouring down his face and now saying it for his team. Not shocking at all out of Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell seems like he would be very at home, covered in his own blood or somebody else's blood. It doesn't matter whose blood it is. You can cover that man in blood. That was what they were covered in their own blood yesterday. The Ravens scored 4 touchdowns before the Lions had a first down. And Dad, the surprising part to me wasn't as much what the Ravens defense did. Now, the Lions have a really good offensive line that the Ravens had 5 sacks against, but the Ravens came into this game leading the NFL with 24 sacks. They'd gotten after the passer. They did it with multiple guys. That was no difference in this game. Lamar Jackson and this Ravens offense finally seemed to meld more with the Todd Monken vision that a lot of us had in mind. We even got Patrick Ricard's longest reception from scrimmage. The fullback human tank got vertical down the field. That's how good things were going for the Ravens on offense. Dad, if this is the version that shows up more against a much improved Lions defense that we've talked about, they are firmly in the conversation for best team in the NFL currently, which is apparently the worst place you can be, because every week for the last 4 weeks we've anointed a team, they immediately go out and lose.
But this is the Todd Monken way that he wants. Pass for 357. Lamar only carries 9 times for 36 yards. That's what they want. Lamar's going to have to run more for them to get where they want to go, but this is kind of the blueprint we were expecting.
Absolutely. Let's get to one more. Jesse, what's the last bit of sound we got here?
Yeah, Commanders suffered a brutal 14-7 loss to the Giants on Sunday. 2 teams combined for 18 punts, the most in a game this entire season. It was painful to watch this. And when he was asked about it after the game, Jonathan Allen did not hold back.
Tired of this. Tired of this bull. 7 years of the same. Tired of it.
What can you do now going forward to get it turned around?
Get our minds right and get ready to play Philadelphia.
I mean, bleep. We just
That's
have to.
Another guy. I do not want to be on the receiving end of. Now, granted, saying that and then being like, "Oh, we got to play Philadelphia," had to be a real gut check moment for him, where it's like, "Oh God,
so true." But listen, defensively, I mean, they held the Giants to 14 points, right? So you're looking over at the offense, where between Sam Howell being young and holding the ball too long at times, and that O-line getting destroyed. This dude, I don't know if he's going to make it through the season for all the hits he's taken.
Yeah, it's been brutal, and that's why I'm amazed that people are going to jump to make this about Daniel Jones. Tyrod Taylor helped the offense end a 205-minute scoreless streak in this game, getting a touchdown on the board. And Tyrod's done what he's done. He's one of the most capable backups in the league and a guy who's played a lot of good football. But the offense isn't the reason they've won this week or looked good last week against Buffalo. It's because the defense remembered who they were again, held the Commanders to 273, held the Bills to 297. They have been difference makers on defense yet again, and that's why the Giants can all of a sudden raise their heads high.